episode 1, right? Episode 1 of our first podcast. So, Karina, thanks for joining. Big thanks, obviously, to the guys at Dream Destination as well for putting the space together. There's a reason why I wanted to have you on for our first episode. Obviously, you and I met 2.5 years ago now. I think was probably
maybe 3 already.
Coming up 3. Yeah. So we met. You were the first agency office here in Europe. So you launched that. I came maybe a year or so later. But I want to hear from you. I know from my side, but I want to hear from you maybe what made you make that decision to go from an existing company that you had before and then relaunch with this, big American brand.
Well, in a way, it's a funny story because I sold my shares that I had for my previous business, which was a traditional kind of real estate office.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to move to Mallorca because I was like, okay, let's do something else. Maybe let's do something in fashion or whatever. I wanted to do something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID came. And my daughter, who already had an apartment for herself, she moved in back to me because, of course, we were in lockdown and it was a completely different world. And she was always watching The Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated that because the women were screaming. And she said, come watch it with me. I said, oh, no, I don't want because, yes, I hear a lot of fights and it's not my thing. And then she said, but come watch it with me. And then I watched it. And then, yes, once you are watching that, you are like...
You're in. Yeah.
I said, oh, great. So now I'm like, in a way, like hooked on this. So, yeah. And then I saw Mauricio for the first time. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about the agency and he was wearing, of course, his T-shirts and everything. And I thought, what is that, the agency? I never heard about it. Mm-hmm. And I looked it up and I thought, oh, it's a real estate office and they want to do something different. And for me, it was more like, hey, they are not in Europe. Why are they not in Europe?
Mm-hmm.
Is Europe not an interesting market for them? What is the reason behind it? So I was not really into the agency, but I was more into the idea behind it.
Curious as to why.
Yeah. And I was playing a little bit with the thought, okay, if I want to start a real estate office again, then not a traditional one. Mm-hmm. Then my clients I have a lot of expats clients also in Amsterdam. Mm-hmm. And I like to work for expats. So I thought maybe this could be an opportunity, or maybe I can steal a little bit from them. Mm-hmm. What works, what doesn't work. So I reached out to them, and then, I had like a super long Zoom call with Jim. And we just were a match. And he said to me, well, Karina, yes, we are interested in Europe, but not right now. The focus is really, really on the States. Mm-hmm. And even if we are going to open an office in Europe, maybe Amsterdam is not our top, choice. And I said, I completely understand, but it's also not the reason I reached out to you guys. And then the next day he sent me an email and he said, well, maybe we can talk. Because honestly, I think, you could be a match with us. And Amsterdam is not our first choice, but it could be. And
you have to start somewhere.
Yeah. And I think Amsterdam was also for them a safe kind of place to try it out. You know, if you've tried in London and you know what I mean. If it doesn't work, yes, and the risk is way too high, and you can't do that over again. But if you fail in Amsterdam, who cares? So he said, let's talk. And then I think a week later, I already had the contract. It went so super fast. Yeah.
Wow.
So that is the story.
Yeah. I mean, mine is similar, I guess, in a way, but wasn't so fast. So I was running another real estate company or an office for another franchise here in the island, and just saw the trend of how many American tourists were actually at the start, starting to kind of visit and explore the island. So I thought to myself, there's so many German real estate companies here. I knew the agency from before. I'd followed, $1 Million Listing and these kind of shows. I think it was before the release even of Buying Beverly Hills. It was more or less about the same time.
Yeah.
But I knew the company from before, and I just said, you know what, I'm just going to reach out blindly to Mauricio, and pretty surprisingly, he replied like 4 or 5 minutes later to my email. I was still in the office. It was the last email I sent out before I left, and just closing up my things, and Mauricio Umansky pops up. So yeah, we were on a call like 2 days later. Then Mauricio introduced me to John Thorpe, who was kind of handling all of the franchises in Europe. But at the time, we were just kind of having conversations, right? I didn't, the subject of franchising didn't come up.
No.
Myself, maybe quite naively, we're talking like collaboration terms and stuff like this. But now I kind of, looking back, I can see they were, figuring out, like you said, is there a good match, right?
Yes.
And yeah, I think that was probably June or something like that in 22. And then by September we had signed the contract, so I guess it did go a little bit quicker. But at the time, that was the first office in Spain.
Yeah.
Portugal signed on pretty much at the same time. We did our onboarding at the same time, and then obviously since then we've come now with Marbella, Barcelona, Madrid recently, Costa Blanca as well.
Yeah.
So I guess the Spanish growth is
Marbella.
Marbella as well. God, yeah. So now it's happening quick, and that's obviously quite interesting to see, because I think the brand maybe also with Spain, it's a bit sexy, it's a bit fun, it's not as kind of white collar Thai, and I think that kind of suits a little bit with Spain.
I think also for the agency, Spain is an easy country.
Mm-hmm.
And once a country is open for a franchise, it's easy to expand.
Yeah.
To open France, it's complicated.
Yeah.
To open, for example, Holland, it's easy.
Yeah.
To open Germany, it's complicated. So I think that is one of the reasons that they are now growing fast in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
But also, there is a match, right?
Yeah.
I think the match that, I'm struggling a little bit with the brand in Holland still,
mm-hmm.
which is okay because I need to find my way there. But, expats, they love it.
Yeah.
Dutch people, they think, oh, probably it's way too expensive. We don't want to spend so much money on even, our fees are like 1%, 1.5% in
mm-hmm.
Holland. So it's already low.
Yeah.
And then they think, oh yeah, this is way too expensive. We don't want to do that. So for me, the branding, even though the agency is a brand, I need to rebrand it.
Mm-hmm. To make it more kind of adaptive to the maybe slightly more conservative Dutch locals. Is that right? Or
and I think also, a lot of people, they don't know us. But I think, for example, we have some great DJs in Holland,
mm-hmm.
like most people know.
Yeah.
And these guys are my clients, right?
Yeah.
They travel, they are open-minded, they are willing to pay a normal fee, but I need to reach them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super working on that right now. But it takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you guys launch in Amsterdam officially? What year was that?
I think 4 years ago.
4 years.
Yeah.
So our opening, or our soft launch to say, was 2.5 years ago. So there was still a period of time where you were
alone,
the lone horse.
Yes. Yeah. So, and that period was like, I was just doing everything myself, and there was not really a backup, which was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But now I can see, for example, Spain is a super big market for Holland as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. And I like also that, well, that's the reason I'm here. You know, also one of the reasons I'm here. That I can that I can play with the brand in a way that it's not only local.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the things I wanted to speak to you about, because obviously naturally here in Mallorca, we have a lot of Germans, a lot of English. The Nordics are kind of maybe the three larger demographics. Now we're seeing, a bigger influx from the US. Poland is also becoming a really big, fast-growing market here. But the Dutch maybe I guess historically are more used to Ibiza. Yeah, Ibiza, Costa Blanca, and these areas. So I wanted to pick your brains a little bit, I guess, on how you see your clients that obviously from Holland and their buying tendencies abroad.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people, Dutch people, they love the area Dea, Gavia, Moreira.
In the Costa Blanca, yeah.
And they love Marbella. And you're absolutely right, they love Ibiza. But they love Ibiza to party.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, I think, a better island than Mallorca. If you want to party for like 3 days, it's the perfect island.
Absolutely, yeah.
What I see at the moment is that people buying a second home, they're still focusing on Ibiza, but they are also a little bit like, okay, maybe Mallorca is an option too.
Yeah.
And for me, Mallorca is a better option to buy a second house.
Yeah.
If you're talking about partying, yes. But if you want to buy a second house, I think Mallorca is bigger.
Yeah.
It has an okay city, Palma is a normal city. The weather is the same.
Yeah. And the infrastructure is 10 times better.
Yeah, so much better.
Yeah.
So I think Dutch people will discover the island. Yeah.
It's funny. We work with Wire, the yacht company.
Yes.
I think you know them well. We had the event together a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
They obviously Amsterdam based, have a lot of boats in Ibiza, and now for many reasons, I think maybe their usual typical buyer getting slightly older, having kids, they're now looking for more of an infrastructure, good schools, good hospitals, stuff like that. So they're now migrating from Ibiza to Mallorca for that a little bit more slower pace. Still, you've got good restaurants, you've got, you can party a little bit if you want, but if you do want to have 2 or 3 crazy days, you take a 30-minute flight or hop on a ferry and you're in Ibiza and
exactly
half an hour to 3 hours on a ferry. So it's nothing.
No, and also don't forget about, I think Mallorca is a safer island than Ibiza.
Yeah.
And that is a big thing also for Dutch people because
in terms of criminality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. It's a super safe island.
Yeah.
And Ibiza it's safe, but if you show off everything, it's less safe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, if you can take a kind of stereotypical buyer in Ibiza or maybe Marbella, in your mind, you might imagine someone who's maybe a little bit more flash.
Yeah.
Happy to wear a 250,000 euro richer meal to a beach club, drink all day, try and get into a taxi. And obviously, if someone's in that kind of circle, then they might be easy prey. But I think Mallorca tends to attract, a slightly more kind of, still very wealthy. In fact, I think we have more billionaires here than anywhere else.
100%
but
sure.
Private airport here is busy from literally full from May till September, right?
Yeah.
But they come to be a little bit more under the radar, So then maybe the bad news doesn't follow it.
It's exactly because it's just it's less in your face.
Yeah.
It's less in your face. And for example, one of my clients, he bought a yacht 2 weeks ago, and he was planning to bring it to Palma. But he was also checking the prices in Ibiza. For his boat, he had to pay 3,000 let's say a little bit more than 3,000 euros a day.
Yeah.
In Palma, it's half.
Yeah.
It's 1,500.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
And even at that level, right, the people, doesn't matter how affluent you are, you're not looking to just...
No, to throw it away. He's a clever guy, He made his money himself. He's not like, oh yeah, I have the money, I don't care anymore. He said, yes, but why wouldn't I put it then in Palma? I said, yes, but I also prefer Palma. So, yeah.
And if he needs a shipyard, it's better here. It's going to get fixed here than it is in Ibiza, so it's going to end up here anyway. Yeah. Speaking of Palma, obviously, as I said, you and I met a couple of years back, and we've been toying with the idea of somehow, bridging that gap as well. Yeah. Because like you said, you've got clients in Amsterdam that are looking to come to Spain, be it Mallorca, be it Ibiza, Costa Blanca, Marbella. But here, I think there's, like you said, a tendency where Mallorca is still bubbling up a lot for this Dutch market. And we came finally to the idea of opening up an office together.
Yes.
And you found a pretty nice space.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about, I guess, how you see that move happening, how you see your clients kind of following over, and what your thoughts are on that.
Well, I also believe that you can create a market, and I need to create a market. And so that is a challenge. But for me, the most important thing was, if you wouldn't have like the franchise, and first, I'm not going to mention names, but if somebody else would have had it, I probably wouldn't do it. Yeah. Or I would call somebody at the agency, I'm willing to do this, but I want to do it in a different way. So that was super important, right? That we can work together, that we trust each other. I can't be here all the time, so trust is a big thing. Okay, that was good. And then I had to find an office. Well, that came pretty fast. Good one. We both like that one.
Do you want to share more or less where it is on here?
Oh, yes.
Can we do that?
But you know it better than I do. I don't know even the street. I know where it is, but I don't remember the street. But, so yes, where...
We're pretty much on the same street as Gallery Red.
Yes.
Yeah.
So...
Between Correos, the old Correos building.
Yeah.
And that kind of L shape.
Yeah. And I think for me, it's a perfect location because it's 2 minutes from my place, from my apartment. And I also believe that for a lot of... I see the office as a marketing tool, right? Correct. It has to be pretty, and you need to give future buyers and sellers the trust. Yeah. We are here.
Established in a way.
Yeah, and we can fix this for you. But of course, I need to make the office nice and blah, blah, blah. We need to do that. So for me, the trust, yes. The location, well, that's also, that would be fixed in a couple of, 2 months, I think. Then the renovation is over. And then I do believe I need to create a market. And there are 2 markets. There is a local market here, which you are not really doing at the moment because you're in Portals. And I can completely understand that is also not an easy market to have when you're in Portals. Yeah. But I think we can have it here. Yeah. So that is one market. And then the other market is really like, yes, okay, do you want to buy a second house? We can help you. And I know that there are a lot of agencies here. So... We need to figure out how to get the clients that we want, but that is a process. Yeah, that is a process. Yeah.
I think from in terms of the buying side, so the lead generation, the marketing. I think the good part of us already being established here is we have a lot of that. Wrapped up. Luckily, we have a really solid marketing team in the office. The girls really well. I think they're doing as good a job as anyone, really. But I think, funnily enough, that presence in Palma is so important. Yeah. Because the funny thing about Mallorca is it's still an island, right? So unless people are buying anything online, everybody comes into the city to buy stuff. Yeah. If they need to go to Corte Inglés, it doesn't matter if you live in Dea or if you live in, Somvida or whatever. You're going into Palma for something. So I think it'd be really interesting to see actually the type of walk-ins that will come to the office, because I think you'll find that there'll be listings coming up in areas that are not just in the old town. No. I can see that, but I can't really see yet what will be the client. Yeah. It's because I don't mind to do the apartments that are 600,000, 700,000, 800,000 euros. No, of course. If they are okay. Yeah. And we can make nice pictures there, because I told the girl, who's going to join our team, for me, it's okay, but I want to have the good pictures. Yeah. That is super important, because once you are going to do it in
in a cheapy way, I think you're fucked.
You're
way.
You're back to back to the same. You're
So
back
I
to
said,
zero.
I'm not going to do that. And we all want to make money, of course, because it's our job to make money, but I'm not going to do it super fast in a cheap way.
Yeah.
Then better slow in the way I think it will work, and that we can also not be standard.
Yeah, I mean, the agency at a corporate level has this pretty much in its DNA, right? It's not a price point; it's a service.
Yes.
So when you are, you're going to an apartment listing, again, naturally the price points maybe in the Southwest are going to be higher on average than they are in Palma, right? But still, the beautiful apartments here, renovated or in original condition. But if you go into the listing with the right listing presentation, you're going there with the right photographer. I mean, we use the same photographer unanimously across the board. It doesn't matter if it's a listing. We have a listing on the website now in Portals, 415,000. Small two-bedroom apartment. Nice, really nice location, not far from our office. And then we have a listing in Bunyola, 75 million. This big estate that we've been to, right? I believe.
No,
not yet. No, we planned it, but didn't go. Planned it, but didn't go. But we will do that. We took the same photographer there, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, naturally, he did more videos, more pictures, and so on. But the idea is to just keep that standard, so that when you're putting it out to the client, you can't really tell a client, "Hey, I'm using a different photographer," or "I'm going to take the pictures on my mobile because it's a smaller apartment," right?
Well,
it's not going to work.
No, and I think we can, create a brand ourselves again on the island if we are going to do that. And if people are not, Mallorca is a little bit different than Holland, because our clients, they pay for the marketing. And I know that it's not the case here.
Yeah, correct.
Also,
sadly.
Yeah, well, our fees are 1%, 1.5%.
True, yeah.
Also, you don't have a lot of exclusive listings. I do want to check a little bit if we can have that, especially for the cheaper ones. Yeah, okay, we are going to do this. We are going to invest, but we want at least 5, 6 months. We want to have the time to sell it for you for the highest price. I think it's possible.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong. But
no, when we started it, we transitioned a little bit our marketing at the start of this year. So when we launched years 1 and 2, really, we decided, like you said, to go very heavy on marketing, because what we saw looking at the competition, trying not to be like everyone else, a lot of people, they invest in corporate marketing, right? So there's billboards everywhere, on sides of bus stops and whatever, and it's just brand.
Yes.
But really for the seller, that's nothing. Do you know what I mean? So you're not really providing much value to an owner. So we said, okay, we're going to go very heavy on social media, because we see that's kind of the future in that regard, and content. So I think we've been with Dream Destination since before we launched, and we've been working with them ever since, to just go very heavy on that and spend on the listing. But obviously we were doing that for listings that we didn't really have exclusivity on. But it was more of a case of, we're here, we need to make a bit of a stance, and this is what we're going to do. And obviously that worked great, that's fine. And this year we decided to pivot a little bit more and add another level to it. So now we have this, again, the targeted lead generation, right? Mm-hmm. So we're not just creating content, but we're now creating targeted campaigns.
Yeah.
For each listing, not just general for client attraction, right?
Yeah.
And when we put that to an owner and we show them, we've got the presentation, we show them all the effort that's going in, and then reporting back with numbers, owners are happy to kind of give you an exclusivity, and we're always open to collaboration. So it's not the case that we are just getting the listing, and then if, another agent from another company comes along, you say no. We work 50-50.
No, but, if you're talking about like a more high-end listing, yes. Yeah. But if you're going to sell an apartment that is 600,000 euros and there are 5 agents on it, then I say no.
Yeah, yeah. You can't put as much effort and time and concentration into it in that way. Yeah.
So, I think, maybe it won't work, but I think it will work, because I think it's better for the client, and they will find out that it's better for them. Yeah. And also, when I look at the agency in Mallorca and I look at other agencies, especially I'm not talking about Sotheby's or Engel & Volkers, but I'm talking about like people who are working in a way for themselves. It's all about them.
Yeah.
So if you look at the
Personal branding.
yeah,
Yeah.
and of course, this is a personal people's business, right? I think people, they want to work with you.
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
you are you. But they do. I think they don't want to work with you because it's all about you. And I think that is a little bit sometimes
Finding that balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you put yourself so big on, there's somebody in the center of Palma, and I see this guy every day because he's near my place. But he put himself so big on like the ad that I think I had to see it like 10 times, and then I thought, oh, it's a real estate company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I mean, there's no right or wrong way, right? Because I think
it probably works for him.
it's super. Yes, he does. He's super.
It works for him.
Yeah.
But and I can see also the clients he attracts with this.
Yeah.
But I think the way that you are doing your branding at the moment, I think, maybe I'm wrong, it's also because it's about the listing.
100%.
You really push the listing before yourself.
Yeah, it's funny. For a long time, I was completely against me personally being in any kind of front camera facing listings. I was against it. And Jana from our marketing team, she was on me, or she has been on me for, the coming up 2 years that she's been, or a year and a half that she's been working with us. And eventually I cracked. And it's funny how we see, not to spill too much sauce, but how we see the difference on the analytics of the content when you're in it and when you're not, right? If it's just about the listing, sometimes people get bored and they just keep scrolling. But you need some kind of, need someone,
face.
and yeah,
you need a face,
and you need to associate. Okay, you know the brand, but who's behind it?
Of course,
because like you said, it's a people's business, right?
Yes.
So you need to kind of have that balance of putting yourself out there a bit, so that people know who you are and they know who they're dealing with. Hopefully, they think they can trust you. And
that's it, right? And they have to like you. It's the same with Mauricio. Yeah, he is everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And
he travels so much. It's insane.
Yeah, but so it's about him.
Yeah.
But it's also a lot about the agency.
Yeah. They kind of come hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think indeed, if you can, for me, it's the same. I don't want to be too much in the picture. But yeah, people tell me the whole time, the branding team, like, yes, we need your face.
Yeah.
People want to see your face.
Yeah.
But I said, okay, but not like all over the place.
Yeah, you don't want to go too much. And for us, at least when we started as well, we wanted to keep that agency ethos of making it also about agents, right?
Yeah.
So one is you in a franchise owner, managing partner, or whatever, being behind the brand, but also the agents that are in the office. How can you kind of put them at the front and the face of their listing, right? Because in the day, if a lead comes in and it's their listing, that's who's getting the lead, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to find that balance of getting them in, facing camera, speaking, which isn't always easy, right? It's not like supernatural for a lot of people to kind of be on camera and especially if you've got a speech or a dialogue, and that's the one thing that we try and
to
avoid as much as possible. Like, we did a shoot in Mallorca a couple of weeks ago, and we kind of knew what we wanted to talk about, but still we wanted to keep it a little bit like natural. Yeah. Because if you look like you're reading off a teleprompter, then also people just think you're a robot, right? And you're not getting your personality out there. No one really knows who you are. You just
Oh no, I think it's better to make a mistake than to do it like, okay, we are going to say this and this and this and this and this, and that's it.
Yeah.
No.
But in Amsterdam, when you're doing, because I've seen obviously a lot of the marketing that you're doing there as well, do you find that kind of client or agent-facing speaking thing is not really something that's caught up, a trend that's caught up yet? Because I see your marketing seems very, very, very polished, like really, really well done.
Yeah.
But more...
No, it's because Dutch people don't like it. Even, already the reels that we are making, and I see a lot of other agencies following us now, because I think we were one of the first ones who were doing that. They don't like that. No, I think they are super interesting, keen to show the house, but they are not super interested in showing me the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not on a reel.
Yeah.
So I'm there, but I'm not there.
Yeah, you're kind of
Yeah.
in the background, kind
Yes,
of moving the
but-
pot,
yeah,
or in the
just
kitchen,
to make
moving
it a
something in the
little
kitchen.
bit more alive.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's a little bit boring, right? If you only show the house. But to open the door and say, hey, come on in, that is not yet.
Yeah. It's an American trend, right?
It's an American
and that
yes.
I think a lot of these trends, especially in real estate, I mean, Americans, they're very good at real estate is probably one thing that they're all good at, right? And the marketing side of things, it's very personalized. It's very people in the camera talking, my name's X from the agency, blah blah, and that works in that market, right? But it's like you said, it's about taking a brand and then tailoring it to how it fits your market.
The thing is also what is different in Holland is that people are working for a company. They don't work for themselves. So
right.
You don't promote yourself the whole time because it's the company.
Yeah, you're not an independent contractor.
No.
Right.
So in the States, people are working for themselves.
Yeah.
Here, it's the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. But
changing, it's changed.
Yeah, it's
going
maybe
on a bit of a
changed
change.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But in Amsterdam, it's never the case.
Mm-hmm.
Almost never.
Yeah.
So, they don't want to be. It's the company.
It's just added work for them, and why it doesn't change their bottom line.
Well, I would say, not all, of course, not all agents in Holland are lazy, but there are a lot of lazy agents. But I think also in Spain.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I think unanimously that's everywhere, right? And I think that's what, coming back to what we were just talking about, when they brought in the change of regulation, right, where they were starting to bring in licensing and all these mandatory requirements. I think at the moment there are over, from what I heard last, 3,500 agents on the island. Yeah, in 1,500 or 1,700 different real estate companies. So the vast majority of them are, maybe a one-man band, don't have an office, might have a side job really, which is their main source of income. So not many of them are kind of 100% fully committed to what they do. And then when the law came in, I think everybody, this was last November now, but everyone rushed, everyone took their licenses. I think you also took took your course, but we went through this whole thing with insurances and whatever. And then this April they went against it. So the law went to Madrid, and Madrid decided to overrule it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I have it for nothing.
No,
I don't have it for nothing. No.
Yeah, you don't. You have it. It's definitely worth having. In fact, when we have new people join the company, like agents, we ask them to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's just a basic level of it's actually quite advanced level of formation, right? It's 200 hours long.
Yeah.
People know at least what they're doing, so that when you get someone in who's fresh to the industry and they go on an appointment, without you there to kind of supervise, they're not.
No,
green.
But I don't want that also.
No, of course.
Again, I think it is a real job.
Exactly, yeah. And then, like you said, it goes back to the service. So if you've got an agent who's representing your brand, essentially, going to a listing appointment and they're, fresh into the industry or they just don't really know, then it looks bad on the company.
Yeah,
and that is I think real estate in Spain in general can get a bit of a bad rap, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's because of no regulation. Call them, pirate agents.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. And people are fed up with it. And I think that's why, going back to what you were saying earlier on about pushing for exclusive listings, I think more owners are open to that now because they just want one point of contact.
Of course.
Yeah. You can then, if you want to collaborate and bring in another agent someone calls you, hey, Karina, I've got a client for your listing. Yeah, sure. Come and have a look. He buys it. Great. You share it 50-50 and you go on to the next listing.
But I think it's also a little bit cheap to have to tell everybody, oh yeah, I'm going to sell my place. And let's say the place is like 800,000 euros. Mm-hmm. And so you have kind of indeed agents everywhere just to get their fees because they're only focused on the fee.
Of course, yeah.
And if you're a normal real estate agent, you're focused on the whole process. Mm-hmm. You do everything, right? You want the nice pics, you want everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's better for everybody.
Yeah. For the owner especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also for the agents.
Yeah.
Because you're less frustrated.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Right now it's like a bit Wild West, right? So if you've got 5%. I mean, the usual fees here are between 5 and 6. but it's take it or leave it, all or nothing.
Yeah.
And I think obviously that creates a certain market dynamic,
Of
which
course.
sometimes maybe isn't as collaborative. And I think I've seen in the last couple of years that's changing. Especially, as I said, since the market is not like the 2 years post-COVID where anybody was selling anything. You just literally had to open a door.
Yeah.
I mean, we had sales over FaceTime. Like, it was nuts.
Yeah.
It were crazy times. And I don't think we're ever going to go back to those kind of crazy moments. But it's just funny seeing the difference of the two. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I think especially sellers now, they're more open to have that one point of contact. You deal with it.
Yeah.
Especially if you've given them that level of service and you put that trust in them already.
Yeah.
Or they have that trust in you, better said. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then
I agree.
there's no need for them to look everywhere else.
No.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely believe that is true. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we've seen, was it last year now? Oh, no, sorry, this year. I got elected into ABINI, so the Real Estate Association. So I got elected on as their vice president. Mm-hmm. And that was set up originally 6 years ago to start putting together some framework for the regulation, which has now been cancelled, right?
Yeah.
So that was why it was formed originally. And then now, obviously, 6 years on, that's come and gone. We're still debating and fighting it in behind the scenes in politics. But now all the agents that are in the association, they want to be able to rely on each other and create, more open collaboration networks with each other.
Yeah.
So it's a funny shift where the market's gone from...
I think it will change.
Yeah.
It takes time, maybe a little bit more time, but it will change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay. Well,
okay.
I think from my side, I've covered everything that I wanted to talk to you about.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's going to be... No, of course. Thank you for coming. I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks, renovation and everything like that. And hopefully next time I'm on here, we can talk about a launch date and a little launch party.
Yes,
That'll be fun.
For sure.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks, Karina.